All right, let's get right into it. If you're a high school girls basketball player dreaming of playing at the next level, or maybe you're a parent trying to navigate this absolutely wild recruitment process, you are in the right place. Think of this explainer as your personal hand-drawn scouting notebook. We're going to take all the verified data and NCAA rules and distill them down into a realistic blueprint for playing college ball, whether that's D1, D2, D3, or NAIA. But look, before we start mapping out strategies, we've got to ground that dream in some serious, data-driven reality. Just look at that number, 3.6%. This whole recruiting process, it's basically a massive multi-year stress test to find the 3.6% of high schoolers who actually have the physical, mental, and statistical chops to survive college women's hoops. The competition is fierce, and honestly, the transfer portal is only making rosters tighter. But hey, don't let that number scare you. Let it focus you. So how do we get you into that elite 3.6%? Well, we've got a literal roadmap for today. First, the physical starting line. Second, efficiency over raw points. Third, the hustle and defense. Fourth, academics open the doors. And finally, number 5, character on the sideline. Okay, let's dive right into Chapter 1, the physical starting line, the blueprint for your body. So before a college coach even glances at your box score, they're running you through a physicality filter. And what's really fascinating here is how much modern scouting cares about your Ape Index. Yeah, it sounds funny, but it's a pro-level term for when your wingspan is actually longer than your height. Coaches are absolutely obsessed with this functional length. Why? Because it completely dictates how well you can disrupt passing lanes, contest shots, and grab rebounds. Think about it. A 5'11" small forward with a 6'3" wingspan gives a team the defensive reach of a center, but keeps the lateral quickness of a wing. It's a total game changer. Because of that, it's super important to know exactly where your physical frame fits. You can really use these benchmarks as a realistic checklist. Take a look at these positional requirements. If you're eyeing a high major D1 center spot, coaches are strictly looking for 6'2" and above. But drop down to the D3 or NAIA levels, and suddenly a highly skilled 5'5" point guard or a 5'11" center fits perfectly into what they're recruiting. So, knowing your positional height range early on helps you target the right programs from day one, saving everyone a ton of time. Now, here is the really empowering part. You obviously can't control your height, right? But you absolutely can control how hard you hit the weight room. Check out these biometric targets that prove you're ready for the college game. Elite prospects are hitting a bench press of 105 pounds or more, which is way above the high school average of 91. You're also going to want a vertical jump over 18 inches to secure those rebounds, and you need to fly through a 75-foot sprint in under 3.8 seconds to prove your transition speed. Hitting these numbers tells a coach, for sure, that you are not going to get bullied out there on the college floor. All right, moving on to Chapter 2, efficiency over raw points, scoring smarter, not harder. This ties right into your on-court performance. And honestly, it's a huge wake-up call for high-volume scores. Scoring a ton of points on a ton of missed shots, that is a massive red flag. If you're out there just jacking up bad shots to pad your points per game, I promise you, recruiters are going to notice and they'll cross you off their list in a heartbeat. They don't just want points, they want production that actually translates to the next level. Which brings us to effective field goal percentage, or EFG%. Look, traditional field goal percentage is kind of seen as outdated noise nowadays, mostly because a three-pointer is obviously worth more than a two-pointer. EFG% fixes this by mathematically weighting a three 1.5 times more. For the big-time recruiters, you really want to aim for an EFG% above 50%. If you're dipping below 45%, you're basically screaming to a coach that you have bad shot selection. And for the true basketball nerds watching, this is the literal math behind EFG%. With advanced analytics today, you have absolutely nowhere to hide. Programs use tracking software like Synergy and Huddle, meaning recruiters can, and will, evaluate literally every single possession you've ever played. They know exactly whether your shooting percentage comes from taking wide-open layups within the offense, or if you're just forcing contested low-percentage shots under pressure. So what do coaches actually want? These numbers spell it out by role. Look at the high D1 point guard row right there. Sure, they want 10-plus points a game, but check out the efficiency target, a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. If you're running the point, you literally have to protect the ball. Or if you're a high D wing, they need you shooting 35% or better from deep. And if we look down at the D2 and NAIA averages, coaches there are looking for a solid 8 to 10 points, reliable rebounding, and just rock-solid fundamentals. You've got to know your role's specific statistical targets. Now, parents, Listen up, because if you're trying to map out your summer schedule, this part is absolutely crucial. There's always so much confusion about where to focus your time and money. Here's the deal. AAU basketball is all about discovery and exposure. It's where coaches go to see if you can still produce when your physical advantages are totally neutralized by other top-tier athletes. High school basketball, on the flip side, is about validation. That proves to a coach that you can grind through a full season, fit into a structured team system, and actually play defense. You really need both environments to build a complete recruiting profile. Let's keep it moving to Chapter 3, the hustle and defense. I call this the invisible scoreboard. Because while everyone else in the gym is staring at the ball, recruiters are watching literally everything else. The key here is understanding your hustle stats. Box scores are great for tracking blocks and steals, but they almost never capture pure intensity. Recruiters actively hunt for players who are willing to do the dirty work. An elite prospect averages 5 or more individual deflections a game, tipping passes, disrupting dribbles, because it proves you've got active hands and a super high basketball IQ. Taking a charge, throwing your body on the floor for 50-50 balls, making those secondary defensive rotations, those are the exact things that keep you on the floor when a college game goes down to the wire. Next up is Chapter 4, Academics Open the Doors. This is how you stack the deck in your favor. We're going to see right now how crushing it in the classroom translates directly to the court. Let's look at these numbers. Good grades aren't just a nice-to-have for graduation. They literally buy you a roster spot. Coaches use a brilliant tactic called academic stacking. Basically, by combining academic merit money with their athletic scholarship funds, a coach can stretch their limited budget way further. Look at Division III. They don't even offer athletic scholarships, so maintaining a 3.3 GPA or higher means academic merit aid becomes your main source of funding. And even at the D1 level, sure, a 2.3 GPA is the bare minimum to play, but bringing a 3.0 or higher makes you a vastly more attractive, low-risk recruit for them. Oh, and parents, please memorize this, the 10-7 rule. To even be eligible for Division I, a player has to complete 10 NCAA-approved core courses by the start of their 7th high school semester. That's the start of senior year, folks. And 7 of those classes must be in English, math, or science. If you miss that progression, you risk becoming an academic redshirt, which completely limits what you can do as a college freshman. Do not let this catch you by surprise. All right, we've made it to our final chapter, Chapter 5. Character on the sideline, the 360-degree evaluation. This is all about those behavioral intangibles that coaches rigidly judge when the ball isn't even in play. It's actually wild. During the NCAA evaluation periods, college coaches will literally sit in the stands, completely ignore the actual game being played, and just stare at you during a timeout. They are hunting for behavioral red flags. Are you slumping your shoulders after a missed shot? Did you just roll your eyes because your high school coach yelled at you? Are you pouting on the end of the bench instead of cheering for your teammates? I'm telling you, bad body language can and absolutely will instantly kill a recruitment offer. And guys, the evaluation does not stop when you walk out of the gym. Recruiters do something called a surround sound check. They will literally track down and talk to your school's janitors, the student managers, your teachers. Why would they do that? Because in the area of the transfer portal, college programs are spending big money, and they want low-drama players. They want someone who treats every single person in the building with respect and is 100% committed to the team's culture. Which brings us to the ultimate question you've got to ask yourself after looking at this blueprint. Are you building the total package, or are you just relying on your jump shot? Look, you can't control how tall you are, but as we've laid out today, you have total control over your strength, your shooting efficiency, your hustle stats, your GPA, and exactly how you treat your teammates. Use this explainer as your personal checklist. Find where you're already strong, be honest about where you need to put in the work, and go out there and earn your spot in that 3.6%. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and keep grinding.